Before I begin today's video talking about the newest episode of The Acolyte, I'd like to have a little conversation with my Andor fans that check out my channel. You know, for a lot of you guys that watched my Andor videos, you guys are probably disappointed in my thoughts on that show, that I maybe hurt your feelings, and I'm here to tell you today, you guys, that I'm sorry. I consistently said that Andor is the worst Star Wars I've ever seen. And I was wrong. It's the second worst bit of Star Wars I've ever seen because The Acolyte absolutely freaking sucks. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Today, I'm here to talk with you guys about The Acolyte Episode 7. Another backstory episode. Oh, we've all been waiting on this one, haven't we? Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see me talk positively about Star Wars that I actually love and enjoy, go check out every Monday. We're talking about a new episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Now, next week there isn't going to be an episode, but in 2 weeks' time there will be. And if you haven't checked out that series yet, go back and watch some of the episodes. I highly encourage you guys to do that because I like making that content a lot more than I like making this content. Listen, while Andor, it's boring to me, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. The Acolyte is not only boring, it doesn't feel like Star Wars, but it's damaging Star Wars, in my opinion. And I'm not even just talking from a lore perspective, because we could have a whole conversation about that. But it's divided the fan base, I feel like, even more than The Last Jedi did. Because you have the people like me and like so many others that don't like this show and are sick and tired of what Disney is doing to Star Wars. Now listen, I'm not going to be the person that sits there and says like, oh, Disney Star Wars, everything that Disney Star Wars has done has absolutely sucked. No, I completely disagree with that. I love The Mandalorian. I love The Bad Batch. I love Tales of the Jedi. I love Ahsoka. So to say that like, oh, Disney, Star Wars is ruined and all these things, no. But my goodness, the last couple of shows, you guys, between this show and freaking Tales of the Empire let me down. I didn't like Andor, you guys know that. It's not looking good right now. And the reason why this is concerning to me, you guys, is because I would have never thought when I became a Star Wars fan, when I watched the original trilogy movies, when I watched the prequels, when I watched the Clone Wars micro series, when I watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars, when I played all the video games, I loved everything Star Wars. Star Wars is my everything. It's changed my life. It's inspired me to make this channel. And now, in the 2020s, we are living in an era where I have to come on here and say, I actually don't like what they're doing right now. This doesn't feel like what Star Wars was to me as a kid. This isn't right. And I think that's what's annoying me right now, because I guess maybe in the back of my mind, I always thought that Star Wars could do no wrong, but it has. At least Disney Star Wars has. Again, not saying that they haven't done good as well, because they have. But we are living in this era where I'm heartbroken that I have to come on here and make videos like this, and I'm heartbroken that I don't like a Star Wars project. You guys have no idea how much Star Wars has changed and basically saved my life in so many different ways. So what I'm about to do here today, I take no pleasure in. I'd much rather be talking about LEGO Star Wars: The Freemaker Adventures right now. I'll go and make a series on that. At least I'd much rather do that than talk about this. Because I think that the people that made that show actually put more thought and effort into that show than the creators of this show. And when I talk about dividing the fan base, you have the people like me that don't like it. You also have the people that do like it and are working overtime to defend this show. And I don't envy you guys whatsoever. I actually am going to give the people that defend this show a ton of credit, because I think that the people that are defending this show have put more thought into it than the entire team that worked on this show. Why is it that Soul, instead of holding the bridges together and then choosing to let one go to save the other, why didn't he just use the Force to lift them both in the air. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like we've seen that in Star Wars before. Oh, wait, we have. Yoda lifts Anakin Skywalker up to save him from falling in his Force vision. We see Jedi elevate people all the time to save them. Like, look, again, like going back to the Clone Wars, we see Anakin saving a bunch of clone troopers like that. Or, the time when Anakin and Ahsoka, they jump off that, bridge or whatever on the Battle of Geonosis and they save Captain Rex. Like, we've seen this done before. But it feels to me like it's not about making things make sense. It's more about, well, let's make the Jedi the bad guys. Instead of having a natural progression to get there, kind of like what they did in Clone Wars, where by the time that you get to that arc where Ahsoka leaves the Order, you kind of start to understand, like, yeah, man, the Jedi, like, they are really flawed in this. Like, what are they doing here? Barriss even talks about it, too, in her speech, and she was never wrong. It was about the way that she went about, going about blowing up the temple that was wrong and all that stuff, And this is my concern, because I know that we have a Rey movie that's going to be coming soon. And to me, what this feels like is they're trying to make the Jedi seem bad here, so then when the Rey movie happens, she can make her new Jedi Order and do it the right way, quote unquote, and be the all-powerful savior of the galaxy. Because that's who they've put their stock into, is Rey. That's ultimately what this is all about, I think. I also got very confused when Sol went to stab the mother, and she, disappeared, but then also at the same time stayed in the same spot. Like, how does that make... I don't understand what she was trying to do. I go back to Clone Wars when General Grievous was attacking Dathomir and was going to go after Mother Talzin, but instead of hitting her with his lightsaber, she just disappeared and faded away out of the building, instead of, just staying in the same spot that she was in. And then they made it seem like May started the fire by accident, even though she also said, I'm gonna keep you here. She was gonna kill her own sister. It just... And then the one female Jedi who was like, you need to go before the council or whatever. And then at the end said, well, now you can't go before the council because now you have to train Osha. Like, it just feels like no one in this show knows what they want. It also was very weird seeing the leader of the tribe, the mother of the tribe, basically hitting on a Jedi teenager, even though I know it was only to just possess him or whatever. I get that, but it was still weird. Oh my god, man. This shit sucks. This is the worst Star Wars show. Andor fans, you guys and I, we might as well be best friends at this point. Here, I'll start doing the chant with you guys too. What's that stupid chant that they do in one of the later episodes? Oh yeah, one way out, one way out. One way out. Come on, everyone in the chat, do it with me. One way out. I want to see that whole chat fill up with one way out. Oh, what is happening to my Star Wars? This whole thing frustrates me. And again, this has nothing to do with me wanting Star Wars to fail, because I know there's a lot of people at this point that just want Disney Star Wars to fail, and I get it. But I don't want Star Wars to fail because, once again, you guys, Star Wars is my everything. It's my bread and butter. It's the center of my nerdy fandom. Because of the way that I feel about Star Wars, that's what's caused me to, branch out and become a massive fan of other things. I'm not just a big Star Wars nerd, but over the years, I've become a nerd about other things, like professional wrestling, for example. Or, in the 2020s, around the COVID time, I watched through Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra and became obsessed with that. I've been a Pokemon nerd for the longest time. I've become a massive fan of DC animation, like the Teen Titans or the Justice League, Young Justice, the DC AMU, all this stuff. But at the center of all of that, you guys, of all these things that I enjoy, Star Wars has always been the number one thing. I always hated school growing up. I never liked it. It was never for me. I hated learning. You want to know what got me through every single week? Waiting for the next Star Wars: The Clone Wars episode. You want to know what got me through a bunch of boring-ass high school classes that taught me nothing? And it was the most pointless 4 years of my life when it came to learning? You want to know what helped me get through that? Every single week, getting to watch a new episode of Star Wars Rebels. And man, now I'm a freaking adult. I have to pay bills. I have to pay rent. You know what I want to be able to look forward to every week? Freaking Star Wars. And right now, I don't have that. Every week I dread it. I dread watching this crap that's being put in front of me. So yeah, I'm frustrated. And people can sit there and say whatever they want. Oh, you guys are just toxic. You guys are ruining the fandom. No, man. You grow up with Star Wars all your life. A lot of it is good, and you expect it to be good. I hold Star Wars to a higher standard. And you have these people coming in that don't know shit about it, that don't care about it. You have people that are more obsessed with talking about how gay characters are instead of focusing on a fucking story. It's ridiculous.
I think that Star Wars is so gay already.
Okay.
And are you telling me, with a straight face, that C-3PO is straight? I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
The show has been a complete waste of my time. I want to sit in front of my TV every single week looking forward to Star Wars, and every single week since this show has started, I've dreaded it. Yeah, okay, I tried to be optimistic at the start, okay? Because I try to be hopeful, but all of the red flags were there before the show started. And it's all just being tossed right in my face now. So maybe I just have to accept that at this point, Star Wars isn't being made for me anymore. That it's not being made for hardcore fans of the franchise. Tales of the Jedi was another show that frustrated me, but at the end of the day, I wasn't so much frustrated as I was heartbroken, because you had 10 freaking years to tell the story of what happened to Barriss Offee, and you dropped the ball with it. And I know there's going to be people that are sitting there like waiting for me to take a shit on Dave Filoni, because they're like, oh, but Dave Filoni, he's the one who okayed all this stuff for the Acolyte. Come on, dude, get on the Dave Filoni hate train. I'm going to make it very clear right now. No matter how bad Star Wars gets, if Dave Filoni had anything to do with how bad this show is, or if he does projects going forward that I absolutely despise, I will never be able to get on the Dave Filoni hate train because of all the reasons I just talked about before, because of how much he changed my life as a child, watching through Clone Wars throughout my grade school years, being able to watch Star Wars Rebels throughout my high school years, my two favorite pieces of Star Wars content he gave to me. So for those that are waiting for it, and I get it, but I am sorry, I will never be at that point. Now, it doesn't mean I won't call things out if I don't like what he's doing, but I'm never gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna hop on the Dave Filoni sucks bandwagon or anything like that, you know? No, he saved my childhood, and I will forever be grateful for that. But goddamn, this Acolyte show sucks so much. Yeah, so like I said, you guys, I didn't want to have to do this today. There's so many other things that I could be doing better with my time right now. You know what I actually could have been doing tonight? I could have been watching through the original X-Men series, the animated series. I've had several people tell me how incredible the X-Men 97 show is. I've heard so much good reception for that. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to watch through that show, I got to be able to watch through the original show first, so I understand all the lore and the mythology behind it. And it's such a well put together show. I'm having so much fun going through that. But yeah, I mean, I'd much rather be making videos about that. I'd rather just be making my Star Wars The Clone Wars videos, which, honestly, you guys, I've said it so many times before, but I have never had more fun on YouTube than making those Star Wars The Clone Wars videos. I love being positive about Star Wars. I love being, happy and excited about things that I love. I hate that I have to come on here and be like this, but at the same time, I'm done sugarcoating this mess that Disney and Lucasfilm have created. It sucks. It's stupid. And if you like this show, I'm glad you do. Everyone should be able to enjoy the things that they enjoy. But in that same token, people should also be allowed to not like the things that they don't like, and be able to voice their opinions on it. So yeah, you guys, that is going to wrap us up for today. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I once again encourage you guys, go check out my Star Wars The Clone Wars videos every single Monday, except for this Monday. We've got a week off. But we've done, about 2 full seasons of The Clone Wars at this point. We're going into season 3. We're, a couple episodes deep into that. Highly recommend you guys check out some of those episodes. Last week's episode, I had my good friend DJ on with me to talk about the episode. So it gives a nice 2-person and conversation on the episode. Highly recommend you guys check that series out. And be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob.
Sith.
Huh?